I'm so disappointed in the fact that you're the one that wanted to be the villain. Embrace it. Be the villain. Be it. You wanted it. You said it. Now enjoy it and stand 10 toes deep in it and say it with your chest. They are watching because of me too, even when you know they're not. We all know they're not.
Angel Reese just went full Hulk mode after hearing Caitlin Clark is back from injury, and yes, the drama is hotter than a ghost pepper in hell. Did Caitlin just steal Reese's spotlight again? Are we witnessing the pettiest rivalry in sports history unfold like a soap opera scripted by ESPN? Buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into flaring tempers, viral shade, and one seriously awkward post-game side-eye. Trust me, you do not want to miss this tea-splashed madness.
Myself is like, there's no point in complaining. Everybody's dealing with it. It's not any different.
It's a good mindset to have.
Yeah.
What's your welcome to the WNBA moment, if you could have one?
Ooh.
Welcome to the W.
I tell people this. It was early on. I want to say it was like our 10th game of the year. We're playing in New York versus Liberty, who ended up winning the championship this year.
Yep.
And somebody set a screen on me, and like I hit my ear like just perfect on the girl, where like my eardrum popped.
And just like that, the cameras swivel back to their queen, Caitlin Clark, fresh out of injury rehab, like a brand new iPhone on Christmas morning, ready to light up the court again. And oh boy, if Angel Reese thought the spotlight would linger just a little longer, she's in for a rude reminder. This league may be full of grown women, but it runs on high school lunchroom drama with ESPN-level production value.
3. He said after watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. And I'm like, you got that from a foul?
So NBA players. What about when somebody tackled you? Do you feel like they really
even if you felt like it was a dirty hit and you hopped up and was ready to fight, does that automatically mean?
Let's be honest, Caitlin's return isn't really about basketball. It's about narrative domination. She's the plot twist, the main character, the season finale, and the season premiere all rolled into one. Meanwhile, Angel's been doing her thing, rebounding, blocking shots, and posting cryptic tweets like a jilted R&B singer. But it's Caitlin who makes headlines just for walking to practice. One jog across the hardwood, and it's like Taylor Swift dropped a surprise album. Instant chaos.
This weekend, so I'll miss this weekend's game, but after that, it's, day by day and see how I feel and just kind of turn to the medical staff and what they think. But I feel like I've made a lot of progress and I feel good, and not going to rush coming back. It's just not worth it. But after this weekend, I'll be reevaluated and we'll have a better idea of when I'll return.
Did you say a possibility or?
We'll see. I think, we're trying not to put like an exact date out there because it is kind of a day by day thing and see how I feel. And, this type of injury, like you don't know when I wake up, I'll feel, different than the day before, and we'll see. It could be a possibility, but I could also not.
And we all remember what Angel said loud and proud. This league isn't built on just one woman. It's not the Caitlin Clark show with guest appearances by people who dare to defend her. Angel's whole mantra was about pushing back against the idea that Caitlin single-handedly dragged the WNBA into relevancy with nothing but a jump shot and a Nike endorsement deal. But here's the messy truth. The moment Caitlin laces up her sneakers again, half the internet forgets anyone else even exists. It's like the league was on pause, like Angel's 15-point double-doubles were just filler episodes until the star returned from commercial break. You can feel Angel's blood pressure rising through the screen. She's the one yelling, "This is a team project," while Caitlin's name is the only one on the grade sheet. And honestly, we get it. Angel Reese has every reason to be furious. She's putting in the work. She's the one getting fouled like it's open season, dodging trolls in her DMs, ESPN cameras in her face, and the occasional elbow to the chin. And now Caitlin shows up, casually mentions she's feeling great, and suddenly she's the second coming of Michael Jordan.
Just being there, change them. That's it. Like, you can sit here and come up with 1,000 different reasons for why. There's one why. That makes 2. 1 Y, 1 Y, 1 Y. And it's Caitlin Clark. She is the why. She is the reason. She is the box office. She is the game changer. She is that woman. She is her. Her performance today, dealing with a leg injury, whatever that leg injury is, I don't think she should play again the rest of the preseason. If she doesn't have.
What makes it worse? Everyone's acting brand new. Like they didn't just watch Angel put her entire spine into dragging her team across the court for 3 straight weeks while Caitlin was out. Angel's out here getting iced like she fell off a building, and Caitlin jogs once without limping and gets a standing ovation from 3 cities and a NASA satellite. The exposure is astronomical, literally. Meanwhile, Angel's still getting side-eyed for daring to be too confident, too brash, or heaven forbid, too entertaining. When Caitlin gets hyped, it's called passion. When Angel does it, it's attitude. You can practically hear the sports anchors fumbling to explain why one celebration is inspiring and the other is a bit much. And if we're being brutally honest, too many women in the WNBA are acting like this is a TikTok beef, not a professional league. The drama isn't just on the court. The subtweets? Petty. The press conference shade? Olympic level. You'd think these are grown women, getting paid to play a sport, but half of them have the emotional range of someone who just lost their charger at brunch. We've got players acting like they're in a reality show, keeping up with the crossovers, Real Housewives of Fast Break City. Pick a title. Instead of elevating each other, it's turned into a competition. Who can throw the slickest shade without catching a fine?
Angel Reese, apologist, sitting here and telling me, well, why are you talking about ticket sales and attendance and ratings? Why do you think? Why do you think? We talk about that because she talked about it. She told us that everybody's watching because of me too. If she had never said that, then the Angel Reese fans, who all suck, wouldn't have jumped on it. If she had said, I don't know, it's exciting to be a part of the new age of women's basketball, and I'm so excited about it, and not said no bullshit like, we're going to look back in 20 years and realize that, people watch.
Angel, for all her swagger, hasn't even been the pettiest. Sure, she has her moments, dramatic exits, side eyes that could curdle milk, but at least she's keeping it mostly basketball adjacent. Others, not so much. We've got players pulling cryptic Instagram unfollows like we're tracking an influencer breakup. Post-game interviews sound like subtweet compilations with a splash of locker room soap opera. And don't even get started on the accidental fouls that look more like WWE tryouts. It's wild because this league is stacked with talent. Yet every time someone so much as sneezes near Caitlin Clark, it trends like a White House scandal, and the rest of the roster is left playing in the shadows. Angel has earned her spotlight. Caitlin just is the spotlight, whether she tries to be or not. She could dribble the ball off her shoe and someone would slap a Beyoncé track over it and call it inspirational. So when Angel sees the cameras swing back fast, aggressive, and completely unbothered by her presence, you know she's going to be mad. Not just irritated, not just annoyed. We're talking full-on slam the locker door, text the group chat in all caps, plot your villain arc energy. Because how many times does a woman have to make a highlight reel before people remember she exists after the post-game handshake?
Sympathy with Angel Reese the other day when you called her a hater.
Sure did call her a hater. Why you call her a hater?
I think she's first of all, I think she is a hater. And that's okay.
Huh?
Like, maybe we're all haters.
What makes her a hater to you?
I think that she deeply hates Caitlin Clark.
Why?
And I think
Did you feel that way before RG3 said it?
No. Oh, yes.
No,
Sorry, excuse me. So, I've seen it since way back in the college days. They don't like each other, right? I think Caitlin Clark doesn't display, if she doesn't like her dislike for Angel Reese, I don't think Caitlin Clark displays it. I think Angel Reese, I think she likes to
Angel, for all her swagger, hasn't even been the pettiest. Sure, she has her moments, dramatic exits, side eyes that could curdle milk, but at least she's keeping it mostly basketball adjacent. Others, not so much. We've got players pulling cryptic Instagram unfollows like we're tracking an influencer breakup. Post-game interviews sound like subtweet compilations with a splash of locker room soap opera. And don't even get started on the accidental fouls that look more like WWE tryouts. It's wild because this league is stacked with talent. Yet every time someone so much as sneezes near Caitlin Clark, it trends like a White House scandal, and the rest of the roster is left playing in the shadows. Angel has earned her spotlight. Caitlin just is the spotlight, whether she tries to be or not. She could dribble the ball off her shoe and someone would slap a Beyoncé track over it and call it inspirational. So when Angel sees the cameras swing back fast, aggressive, and completely unbothered by her presence, you know she's going to be mad. Not just irritated, not just annoyed. We're talking full-on slam the locker door, text the group chat in all caps, plot your villain arc energy. Because how many times does a woman have to make a highlight reel before people remember she exists after the post-game handshake?
Seek that attention, right? And another thing is, it's obvious she's jealous of Caitlyn. Every interview, every tweet, everything is about Caitlyn. I haven't yet to see Caitlyn even respond to her yet. Have y'all?
No.
So when you asking me like, yo, I get it, everybody's watching women's basketball now, who's the real reason? Well, yes, you are right. Reese has a small amount of that, right? But the other real credit goes to Caitlyn. Not just because what she's doing outside the court and she's waving her hand, doing all that. It's because she's giving buckets in basketball, right? And she looks like Steph Curry.
So yes, Angel Reese is furious, not just because Caitlin Clark is back, but because she knows exactly what comes with that return. The interviews, the think pieces, the memes, the endless comparisons. Through it all, Angel has to smile, nod, and pretend this is just another game. But behind that smile is a very loud, very clear, unspoken scream that says, this league is not just Caitlin Clark. Too bad no one's listening. They're too busy filming Caitlin's layup in slow motion with inspirational piano music. And here's where the WNBA turns into a reality show. Nobody asked for, but somehow can't stop watching. The toxic energy. Swirling around the league could power a small city. Let's just call it Shadeville. Population. WNBA players with egos the size of their missed layups. The truth is, a whole bunch of them are legends in their own minds. You've got players walking around like they invented basketball because they had one decent playoff run 3 years ago, or once got mistaken for someone famous at an airport. Starbucks, they demand superstar treatment, media attention, and endorsement deals, yet shoot 3 for 14 and call it a quiet night. Babe, that's just bad basketball. It's not quiet, it's concerning. And that's exactly why Caitlin Clark stands out like a lighthouse in a fog of mediocrity. She doesn't need to scream "respect me" from the rooftops because her game already demands it. She steps on the court, and suddenly you're watching a human cheat code. Logo threes, no-look dimes, crossovers that leave defenders questioning their entire life path.
Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and it's so obvious. You don't give this type of reaction for a common foul. That is a regular basketball foul. Caitlin Clark hit ball, but Angel Reese decided to flop like she's Draymond Green and act like she got shot in the streets and hood of Chicago. But then when you ask a question after the game in the press conference, you say basketball play, refs got it right, move on. But you clearly had a hard time moving on after that foul. And Caitlin Clark threw some shade at Angel Reese, rightfully so. That's just a good take foul. Either you let Angel get a wide open two-pointer, which I don't think she was going to make.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is still out here trying to convince everyone she's that girl while putting up box scores that look like someone trying to win a free t-shirt from the team store. Seriously? Caitlin Clark doesn't need anyone's permission to be great, she just is. And that's what burns so many of these players up inside. They've spent years telling themselves they're stars, and now this 22-year-old just waltzes into the league, outplays them, outsells them, and outshines them without breaking a sweat or her nails. But it's not just the skills, it's the attitude. Caitlin plays with an unbothered, surgical focus. She's not in the middle of every Twitter beef. She's not subposting her teammates like a jealous ex. She's not crying for respect in every press conference like the WNBA is her diary. She just shows up and torches anyone in her way. And the other players? They hate that. They hate that she's not begging for validation. They hate that she's actually better. Now, let's talk about Angel Reese for a second, because the receipts are long and only getting longer. Her stat lines lately look like something you'd expect from a sixth player off the bench, not someone with a $1 million NIL deal and more brand partnerships than points per game. But instead of working on her shot, she's busy giving interviews about how she's misunderstood. Sis, we're not confused, we understand you perfectly. You're the player who does the most while producing the least.
And one media outlet that has done everything possible, that is the gold medalist of mental gymnastics, to try to prop up what has been a very benign Angel Reese this season. Let's be honest. There's been a lot more lowlights than there's been highlights this season. And I did a video the other day, She is the worst shooting player in the league when it comes to layups, and she takes the third most.
And it's not just Angel Reese. She's just the loudest example in a league full of women who genuinely believe that if they clap back hard enough on social media, it'll somehow raise their shooting percentage. Spoiler alert, it won't. The WNBA doesn't need more attitude, it needs accuracy. But unfortunately, it's become a league where being petty gets more traction than playing well. And honestly, that's exhausting. That's why when Caitlin Clark walks onto the court and drops 25 points with a casual grin, it feels like a cleanse. It's like the league remembered what actual talent looks like. She's not a moment, she's the main event. She doesn't need to start drama or fake. Beef for headlines. Her game is the headline. That's the difference. And let's not dance around the truth anymore. If Caitlin Clark wasn't in the WNBA right now, the league would still be deep in obscurity. Period. Full stop. People act like this is controversial, but it's not. Ratings. We're flatlining. Ticket sales were tragic. And half the world forgot the WNBA even existed until Caitlin turned pro. This girl brought more media coverage in 1 month than the league had in the last 5 seasons combined. You know it's bad when opposing arenas are selling out just to see her play and half the people in the stands can't name a single other player.
And it works.
It works for you?
Well, well, maybe it works for you too. I mean, you're a villain in some regard.
Right?
Yeah, it's worked. I think that Angel Reese hates Caitlin. And it's okay.
Hate is such a strong word. Why can't it just be competitive? Like, we don't, I can't think of too many times we said that with guys. You know what I mean? Like, they hate each other just because they're super competitive on the court.
Well, I think that there's always been a rivalry and a feud in sports and in boxing and all of this. But I think when you see Angel Reese and the way she reacts to specifically Caitlin Clark, I think it's hard to dispute that she dislikes.
That's not because fans are disrespectful. It's because the league never gave them a reason to care until now. Caitlin didn't just bring attention. She dragged the entire league into relevance by force. The others? They're just along for the ride. But somehow, they still have the audacity to be salty. And that's where it gets laughable. These players should be sending Caitlin thank you baskets, not throwing shade. She's the reason their paychecks aren't bouncing. She's the reason anyone outside the WNBA subreddit is watching their games. Yet, instead of recognizing the golden goose, they're trying to pluck its feathers on live TV. They say she's privileged or overhyped, but here's a wild idea. Maybe she's just better. Maybe she earns the spotlight because she actually puts in the work and delivers results. Maybe it's not about the cameras favoring her, it's about her forcing them to. It's not a conspiracy. It's called competence. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is still fuming because the world isn't calling her the face of the league. But how exactly are you going to lead a league you can't even lead in scoring? Where's the dominance? Where's the improvement? Wearing anything other than side eyes and sound bites won't cut it. The truth is, she's playing the villain role without putting up the villain numbers. And if you're going to be the bad guy, you at least need to win something.
Or Reese in the wrong there.
Neither were in the wrong because this was a heat of the moment situation. I want us to look at the play because it's very important. This happens in basketball all the time. So Angel Reese pushes Natasha Howard in the back, which angers Caitlin, and Caitlin gives a no free buckets foul with some extra sauce on it, which correctly gets assessed as a technical for Angel's response to that, which any player that gets hit like that, I used to do this all the time. I turn around, I once got messed up with because it was Brittany Griner. Be careful. You gotta be careful.
Right now, Angel Reese is giving strong antagonist in season 1 who gets written out by episode 6 energy. Let's not pretend Caitlin's presence is the problem here. The real issue is a league full of grown women who'd rather be bitter than better. Instead of studying her game, they're busy crafting Instagram captions and pretending they're victims of a Caitlin Clark media conspiracy. But the scoreboard doesn't care about your ego. The fans don't either. They want highlights. They want talent. They want players who can actually play. In Caitlin, she checks every box. She's not perfect, but she's professional. She's not throwing elbows and tantrums. She's not going viral for flipping off the crowd. She's going viral because she actually gives people something to watch. She's doing the job that too many others stopped doing the minute their rookie contracts were signed. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark is everything the WNBA needed and everything some players didn't want. She's the walking, talking proof that hype can be earned, not manufactured. And the more the others try to ignore her impact, the more obvious it becomes. Without Caitlyn, the WNBA would still be struggling to trend.